Hi guys, how are you? How was your weekend? Anybody saw the Formula One Grand Prix? And once again, the Ferrari that were, I think, in a very bad position. But anyway, so what we're gonna talk today about? Our topic today, it's gonna be sort of a design talk about car design, of course, which is our favorite topic, and we will be talking about how we can and what we can do to become a car designer. Hi, hi, Dhruv, how are you? Ciao, Marcin. So you are coming. That's great. I'm just gonna wait a little bit, but as I was saying, hi, Edward. As I was saying at the beginning, and as I wrote on my Instagram profile, we're gonna have a design talk today, and we're gonna talk mainly about one topic because I received a lot of questions about this topic, which is how did you do? What did you do to become a car designer? So today, I think that I can talk a little bit about that, my experience, but more in general, how we should do. Hello, Mauro. Ciao. How are you? Yesterday, I watched the final Sonoma IndyCar race from California, and I was up until 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it, which was very nice. Scott Dixon that won the championship and the big cup, and Alexander Rossi, the Californian, I would say with a very Italian last name, that did an excellent race. I really enjoyed it. A little bit more than the Formula One, where the Ferrari were a little bit once again in hell, and Hamilton really drove his car really well. I have to say, really well, without losing the right concentration and being exactly on the spot. Hi Michelangelo, hi Raul, Mr. Bonic, BC. Okay, it's important. Okay, today I will answer to the questions in a while. Okay, so let me just start the topic as you saw from by the title. We're gonna say the title is how to become a car designer. It's just a little bit of my experience because some of you asked me in the comments at certain videos how I did to become a car designer. So which one was my story, which is my story. And I think that after almost 30 years of experience, I can, I think that I can explain this a little bit also in a wider way, in a more general way. Also because, as you know, I taught design in 3 different design schools. So I was in an American design school like Art Center Europe, when we had the branch in Europe as a teacher, and also in the Italian design school, both YED and YAD. And that's why I gained some sort of experience to tell you how today, what is the best way today. Okay, so hello from who is in Frankfurt. We went to Mercedes-Benz Museum yesterday. Yeah, Mercedes Museum is fantastic. Okay, that's Raul, I think. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to our topic. What is important? Ray, yeah, Ray. I'm sorry. Hi, Ray. That's great that you had this experience today. I'm sure that you loved it. I went there once. So what I want to say is that first of all, the contest in 1980, so a long ago. Okay, when I was 19 years old, we did not have in South Italy a lot of exposition about informations and news on car design. and car design career and car designers. We really did not. In school, we had engineering school, university, or technical schools, and architecture. Those were the only two universities that had something to do with making a project, whether it was a mechanical project, construction project, or an interior and exterior design, environmental design project. For industrial design, some people, I would say, that did engineering, like today, lots of Indians still do. And ciao Siddharth, welcome back. And there were few of them that even if they went to engineering or architecture, then they had this strong talent in sketching, in painting, in creating, and by themselves, so by themselves, not thanks to those schools, they put together what they learn in school and therefore their diploma, okay, with also their capacity about drawing and creating objects. And that's how they call themselves designers. And this was done high carry. And this was done in a period in 1980s and early 90s, which was exactly the same period that in Italy, the first young designers from international design schools were arriving, I would say, for the early times, for the first times, okay? We already had a generation 3-4 years before, but there were really, really few. In Torino, there were 3, 4, 6, probably 10 foreigners coming from those design schools from America or from some European countries. Because in Italy, there was no real design school. There was, I repeat, architecture, and lots of architects were designers or working as designers, okay, or engineers that were more into management. Now, when important schools like Art Center College of Design, CCS, Pforzheim School, and a few others became kind of famous internationally, they started to become very known. Of course, the companies started to go over there to go and visit, and they discover that if that they had a good type of how can I say training valid institution from which drain some talent. Okay, in Italy this arrived very late. Because if I think about France, for example, with Renault, the company for which I work today, already before Mr. Patrick Lequemont, at that time he was the big boss of design, went traveling to California to other design schools to go and search for French people working or studying abroad or some foreigners and bring them to France to make its own designers team a little bit more international and bring also different type of creative vision. So that's the reason why, the main reason why it was important to have students that come from outside the country. And this is one thing. But when I was in 1983 ready to go away, to go from Italy to California, what happened few months before is that I really didn't know. I really didn't know what to do. If I didn't even know if to sketch cars was a profession. So I start checking those car magazines where you see the new cars that will come out on production, where you can find the list of cars price. And so there were lots of pictures about cars. A little sport racing topic at the end, like Formula One or rally, stuff like that. So that was my opportunity to get to know something about car design. And sometimes I saw some illustrations of a today a good friend of mine, which is Mark Stromberger. I don't know if some of you know him, but when I was young, he was my idol because he used to make those beautiful illustrations for those car magazine, trying to, how can I say, trying to make a preview of upcoming designs. And looking at his sketches, I told myself, I have to try to learn from this guy. So I went from sketching cars to, by myself, of course, to trying to copy a little bit the technique of this super illustrator that was working for the same car magazine I was reading, buying every week because it was a weekly magazine. And that was the first link I had in 1989 to understand that someone was working around the car design or the automotive design environment field. Then there were other articles, and because this car magazine was writing also about the automotive show, like auto shows in Italy, like Torino, but also Geneva at that time was very famous, Frankfurt, Paris, and that was something that really interested me. And when there were those type of articles, there were lots of pictures of the models, but also of the concepts. And then I discovered that there were some small companies that were making beautiful concepts, very creative. They looked very futuristic. And of course, they were Ital Design of Giorgetto Giugiaro. Hi, ciao. Giorgetto Giugiaro, then we had Bertone, we had Pininfarina, we had Vignale, we had a few others like Michelotti at that time, and then I understood that there were people that were working to make a different type of car using a lots of creativity. And when I saw that, no, ciao means everything. Goodbye and hi, how are you? Don't worry. Ciao is a say, I, A, O. Ciao. Okay. Hi. Hi to the people that are coming. So, I told myself there must be a way to work in this field. And as I remember, I did not have books that explained to me what it was, the design field in automotive design or the car designer role and how to become one. I did not have specialized magazines like Auto Design. Those ones did not arrive to South Italy. They were only for the north of Italy, mainly very, very north, because those studios and those journalists and were all around the automotive design, automobile industry, and all the other supplies that were connected to this, and internationally. So I was a little bit in the dark, in the darkness. I really didn't know. Then one day, I had the big chance, the really big chance, and still, if I think this this thing that happened by magic, I found an article on the same magazine of Art Center College of Design, which is the school that after few years I went to. And there were beautiful, big pictures of the school, students working on their clays, students working with their full-scale side view with tape drawing and aerograph, students sketching in pencil, and the article was written by a journalist called Lino Manocchia, an Italian that lives, still living today in New York. He's over 90 years old, and I was in contact with him since few years ago. Very, very nice guy. I am from a small town, Salerno, next to the Amalfitane coast, south of Naples, 30 kilometers south of Naples, on the sea. Beautiful area where is Capri Island, just to explain easier. So this guy, this journalist, made a big article. It was the title was like that. Was in California they are making the future scenarios of automobile design, and that was just for me. I was completely cow, knock out because I couldn't believe that there was such university with such a building, such architecture, and most of all the labs to make models, to work on computers already at that time. They were the first early computers. And this was a design university that was very known for transportation design, product design, and advertising. Then there are also other fields like film, scenography, fine arts, photography, illustration, a lot of other stuff. And so I read the whole article, and of course, I fall in love with the idea. And back then I was following economy university in Salerno. And after a year and a half, I told my father and my mother, said, "Look, read please this article because in this case, I think that for me there must be an opportunity. It exists. Look." So they took this article, they read the article, and of course, my father, the first thing he said, "You have to study economy." And my mother said, "Well, you know what, your father is right." But in reality, my mother was thinking that probably I was right because I was sketching cars all day long. And I was getting better and better because I was trying to work by myself the best I could, trying to imitate, okay, this journalist making those illustrations, this illustrator, Mark Sternberger, that today he still has his own studio, design studio in Santa Barbara in California. He works for the school, for Art Center, because he's teaching their illustration, and he's still doing his job as an illustrator and as a designer. Anyway, so what happens is that after a few weeks, my father told me that I could go to California to study English, and that if I learn English language correctly, this meant that I could have worked also as a businessman because I knew also another language. Or the worst of the cases, I could go to architecture, become an architect that also knew English language. At the same time, he asked me still to prepare the drawings, to follow the application form that the school required. He said, just to see, let's see what happens. Maybe they will pick you. Maybe they will take you. Looking at the peak second from your left shoulder, I think that's our three. Ah, this one, this photo. Yeah, this is a photograph, an artist that it's a French artist, photographer. I bought this in Paris a year and a half ago. Hello, Abe. Hi, Shama. Okay, so just brief, just to make it short. I left. I went to study my English. I went to study English, and at the same time, I found a design school in Berkeley next to my English school, where I start taking night courses to start to exercise myself. So during the day I was working 6 hours in school for English, do my homework, and then at 6 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 o'clock at night, I had night courses for 4 months in this design college in Berkeley. And this college is called California College of Arts and Crafts. And I was following graphic design and architectural illustration, so that I could sketch and think, as a designer. And that was a way for me to get in the American system before knowing if I could have been accepted by Art Center or eventually find an alternative solution. I take a trip to Los Angeles from San Francisco because my English school was in Oakland, next to San Francisco. So I go over there. I drive over there for about a day, full day, and I stayed in Los Angeles for 3 days. I went to the school. I visited. I brought my portfolio. I had my interview and everything, and they told me, you know what? We think we can take you. The only problem is that we have 2 years of waiting list, and I didn't know. I didn't have the concept of a waiting list because in Italy you don't have a waiting list. I never had a waiting list, and they explained to me waiting list is when there are too many people that wants to come to our school. Therefore, we just take the first ones in order, and if someone doesn't want to, we free the space for the next one. For the next one, because somehow I found the college because need is almost unknown among the people here in India, but my father believed thought his son thing exists, like thing exists. Yeah, I know, Siddharth. I understand. I will talk about this later. From university, like service, make a video of admissions. I said foreign exchange students. Yeah, but we will talk. Sudha, we're gonna talk about this now. Don't worry. Just listen, and you will see that I am on the topic. So, because of that reason, that I was on the waiting list, I had to go to Pasadena City College, which is a college for American students and also foreign students. And I did a GA. I took a GA diploma, which is a general education diploma. I had some prerequisites to have, and Mauro Diaz knows very well what I'm talking about. And with those prerequisites, I put also lots of artistic classes. So drawing, life drawing, graphics, illustration, all the extra classes I could add to my scholastic program to make sure that with my prerequisites I had also the classes that for which I was really were really important for me. And therefore, after 2 years, I moved from San Francisco. Once that English language was done in 8 months, 9 months, I moved to Los Angeles. I went to Pasadena. I started Pasadena City College. And after the first year, I start also Art Center at night, which means I was admitted to follow two classes, which was sketching, transportation design sketching one, and an illustration course. And if I had more than a C or C plus, those two classes would count in my overall program if I would go for as a full-time student. So I was working for the college, and in the evening I was going to Art Center and I was doing homework for both of them. So no problem, William, don't worry. I just started. So you can understand by what I'm talking about, by telling you my story, that it started like a little game. Yes, I go to America and I become a car designer. And little by little, through the years, it became something much more complicated, for which I had lots of obstacles, okay? Hard things to overcome. But those things never stopped me, and also my family, with my family support, of course, my father, my mother, which are the first one that I always thank for who I am today, because this is thanks to them. My sisters, my closest relatives and friends, and also some people in California, even if I was new, so I did not know people like the ones back in my country from 10 or 15 years. And all this to tell you that it was not an easy task. That's why I tell everybody, if you want to choose to become a car designer, there are several steps you have to do which are not going to be easy to take into account before you go and change from one school to another, or before you decide that that's the course you want to do, the field you want to work in. Once I got my general education diploma at Pasadena City College, I am accepted full time in Art Center because I was already 23 years old, because of this, all those 3 years spent to prepare myself for Art Center. I decided that I was not gonna take any Easter break at the Art Center. This means that I would go full straight all three trimesters per year to try to reduce as much as possible my timing to be to get my bachelor, which is not easy because Art Center is a school like many other schools that puts a lot of pressure. So when you do this without a vacation, it's kind of hard. But I did it because I was thinking of my age factor once I would be out and how long it would have taken me to find a job. So at what age would I have started to work? That was the first big question mark, the big question I had in my head. And this is the reason why I did 4 years of Art Center in barely 3 years. Because studying also during the summer session, it gave me the opportunity to take a full year and integrate this in 3 years. So I get my diploma in August, 18th of August, and then I did all my interviews to find a job on the school with all the sponsors of the school. And I had the Toyota, Honda, General Motors, Chrysler, Chevrolet, Nissan, Volvo, and Honda California. And those were all the people that at that time, in the same day, in an office, they were just waiting, the managers of those companies, they were waiting for us, students with our portfolio ready, waiting outside. At that time, the portfolios were big stuff done by hands, okay? And we were just waiting in line. Next, each one get in, one get out, another one gets in. And you could see happy faces and sad faces. So it was a very crucial moment. And it lasted the whole day because, of course, there were a lot of people to see, a lot of companies. So you can imagine all this experience, no? Already in school, before getting out of school. And you get an idea of how reality hits your face right when you get your diploma. Because when you are a student, it's normal. You are more free in your head in terms of job, making money, paying back eventually a bank loan and stuff like that. But once you get out of school and you know that now you have to find a job that is very rare because it's still today a rare job, then you start thinking. And sometimes you think, maybe I fucked it up. Maybe it was better to be an engineer or an architect or to be a businessman as my father wanted to be. Then, of course, it comes out your passion, your strength, the will, the strong will that you really want to make it, and also all the money that involved for the cost, of course, of the experience. That degree costs money, but it's only not just the cost of money; it's also the cost of personal sacrifice. I know that for you and also for me was the same. You say, "Well, I leave South Italy, I go to California, and everybody is happy because Southern California, it's like we see in the movies, especially in the 80s and 90s. For us, Southern California was beautiful, blonde, blue eyes girls with very nice sections, if I may. And the dream was like, wow, I'm going over there. In reality, after the first months that you are there, you realize that your family, you're missing your family, you're missing your parents, you're missing your sisters, you're missing your friends, you're missing your food, and you know you're gonna stay there for another 3 years. So it's gonna be hard. It's going to be hard, and you are not taking a plane for 16 hours of playing back at that time 3 times a year. You do this once a year at Christmas. So you are on your own. And you are on your own in a country that you don't know. It's not like in the film, of course. The reality is different, also of everyday life. You learn what it means American bureaucracy, which is still less than Europe, but still, you learn a new mentality, a new mental approach of living life. And you are from South Italy, where, let's say it, Latin people like us from South, we are a little bit easy going. Yeah, come on, don't worry. If we have our health, we can do everything. Well, it's not the same thing in America. And today I'm inclined to think more as an American than as an Italian. So right now, because I am a third year learning product design, don't have transportation design, and really want to do car stuff and trying my best to do everything. William, after I will try to answer to your anxiousness, okay? But don't be quiet, be tranquil, don't worry. The most important thing is portfolio, as I say always. Let's go back to the topic, because after I would like to, after the story, so that you know my story, you will see that through my story there are a lot of things that probably you are doing, and on those things I can give you some advices. Okay, so once I finish school, and that's also the chance, okay, the good luck that sometimes can happen. The journalist that made that famous article 3 years before for the Italian magazine, Lino Mannocchia, decides to come to Art Center 3 years later to make another reportage, okay, about the school. And he goes to the head of the transportation design department. At that time, it was Ron Hill, who is a friend today, and he's a father of an ex-classmate, Jason Hill, who is working in California. He has his own design business, working also on some flying cars. Anyway, Ron Hill says, yeah, we have an Italian. We have an Italian and an Argentinian, which was a friend of mine, that is the son of Italians that were living in Argentina. So Lino Mannocchia says, well, I want to talk to them, to take some photos and make a small interview. So he came and we met. And I told him, it's thanks to you that I am here today after 3 years. So I really was very happy. He said, okay, let's make a few videos. Okay, I will make an interview. So we talked a little bit about the life for an Italian student to be in America, speaking the language, how I did, and everything. So basically, the curiosity of his article was to show to those people that were watching this time TV, because his service was reportage was for a TV channel, the Italian TV channel, and because this went on TV, the at that time the Fiat Design Center director, Chris Bangle, that later on will become the celeb famous design director at BMW for about 20 years. Chris sees me and my friend, says Italian. He was looking for Italians from a special design school to hire for the new Fiat Design Center. So he sends at that time a telegram, okay, a mailgram, and because we did not have internet, so no message, no mobile phone, there was writing as usual, like in the post-war time. And the school gets this telegram, and they call me and say, look, this is the phone number, the address. In few months, you will go back to your country to set up interviews with the Italian design companies. You already have an opportunity to make your first interview with the ex art center student whose name is Chris Bangle, and he's a design director at Fiat. And they said, Fiat has an American director. Well, that's cool. So I write back, and I set up the appointment, the meeting. Before going to this meeting, I also went the same week between Milano and Torino. Once I left California with my portfolio, I went to visit all the design studios, and there were two design studios that were kind of happy to hire me. And then I went to the last one, was Mr. Bangle in Fiat. No problem, Ayush, don't worry. I did the interview, and then at the end, I have chosen the invitation of Mr. Bangle, Chris, we're friends today, and he said, if you come and work for me, we're gonna do some really new stuff. I want to boost design activities in Fiat, and we're gonna be better than the suppliers, the famous suppliers. I'm making a team. You can help me for that. You are in Italy. You went to the American school. This is already a great advantage for me. You can help me, and therefore, this became the beginning for me to think seriously how to make my choice. And there, once again, my father helped me a lot in making the right choice. Because he said, Fiat, it's a big corporation, it's a big company. It's the most important automobile company in Italy. I think that there is no thinking to make. You just go over there. The others are small. Maybe over there you can go another day when you will have more experience and you will feel like you won't change. So I gave my thank you to the others, but I said, I'm sorry, I cannot accept. And I formally accepted my first job as a designer at Fiat Design Center with Chris Bangle. And it's true that when I arrived over there, the first day of work, which was 29th of November 89, so from August 89 to November 89, few months went by, and I was one of the first students to start working in my class. And there you go, my designer career as exterior designer started, and it was not easy at the beginning because, of course, you arrive and there is always a big difference between school and reality. Even if the training that I had in Art Center was very, very close to what we still do today in the business, okay, in the design business, in the design process development. That's why I think that it's important to choose the right design school because it can give you the right tools to understand what type of mental approach and skills develop to make sure that your creativity is well used and integrate yourself in the right design team the fastest time possible, because that's the thing. The faster you get into the game, the easiest and the better, the happier the company is about you. The slowest you are inclined to integrate, the worst it is the consideration that the company can have about you, and that's normal because after a certain time, it can be a loss of money, a loss of money. H Point, a very good book about, yeah, H Point. H Point is excellent. It's done by two teachers from Art Center, and I know the book. Amazon, you find it on Amazon. So now, I told you this is very quickly, just to tell you quickly, relatively, because it's already 40 minutes I'm talking. But anyway, just to tell you how I moved in a situation where I had no information whatsoever to the best situation. Also, of course, thanks to the possibility that the family offered me. That's normal. I would say that that's the first important element that pushed me to the opportunity to have this type of experience. I don't want to deny it, but at the same time, it's not just this economical possibility. It has a lot to do with your strong will to do it. You want to do it, and you want to become a car designer. And therefore, even if the first time they tell you you have a waiting list of 2 years, you don't give up, because 2 years is 2 years. Everybody would have said, okay, 2 years, I go back to my country, I'm sick and tired, this is giving me a nervous breakdown. I was starting to change my life. I did all this effort for nothing. No, what I did, I followed their advice and I started again some courses in college, American college, that I already started in Italy because I already did my 5 years of college in Italy. So I told myself, if this is the rules, and I have to redo literature, I have to redo mathematics, and I have to redo science, and I have to redo philosophy, well, okay, I will redo it. No big deal. If that's the door to get to accomplish my mission, I will do it. And that's what I did. Now, if I take this experience and you try to see how your experience, your difficulties that you're having today you can compare them to this, I would say they are not so different. Probably they are different type of problems, but you have problems for sure. For example, William is saying that in his school he wants to be a car designer, but he does not have car design. He has product design. So in his case, what I suggest him to do is do your product design projects, but work as hell on car design on your own, at home, on your free time, at night. If you want to have a portfolio that has a very good balance between your products and your car design, so that you can present yourself as a more versatile designer. And maybe in China, this will be, I'm sure it is, an extra value. Then you might have a very strong chance to work on both. Then you can have either product design stuff to do into a car design company, but also the car design ability. Let me see if there are some comments. Which culture are you in right now? Okay, I work at education, passion. Yeah, passion. Okay, NID it's good. Good. Okay, passion. Passion is very important. And now, another thing very important to tell you is that when Art Center accepted my entry portfolio, it did not accept simply the fact that I had all the nice images or colors and sketch because if I see those sketches today, they are full of mistakes, and that's normal. They are trying to read in those sketches if there was a sort of a talent and if I had the passion because this came out while I was talking to them. And it's the combination of the three elements that gave to Art Center, I would say, the okay to the go in accepting me, like many other young colleagues at that time, and to become students of that school. Then there is also another thing. When I say design schools and good design schools, I went through a sort of nice military service, as I say always. I talk about military service because not because everybody was very severe. No, the environment and the American mentality, especially Californian mentality, gives the opportunity to feel really well. Very, very nice between people, interact with people, and to feel like you're having a really great experience. At the same time, as American says, business, it's business. And that's something very different in meaning compared to my origin Italian culture. Because in Italy, you can say, business, it's an agreement between us, don't worry, I promise. But if you don't respect that, you can almost get it away with it. In America, you can't, because that shows a loss of trust in the person. And that's bad, because the loss of trust, you get that on your face, and you keep it for the rest of your life with that person or organization once they had this idea of you because of your behavior or misleading behavior. So that's why I always try to encourage people to be disciplined. Discipline is important. It's not just about your creativity, it's not just about your responsibility or your will to do it, to make it one day. Discipline means you know how you have to be serious to it. You get to that school, you have teachers, you follow your teachers. Even if sometimes you think that your teacher asking you something that it might not sound too interesting, to make that experience at least once. Because there is always something behind that request, something good for you in terms of experience. And then there is also another thing that you must have. It's your, how can I say, your initiative. Your initiative is very important because you cannot just be like a soldier. The teacher asked me this, and that's what I do. You can do more than that. In school, we did a lot more than that. I remember our teachers asking us, you have to do 25 sketches, done this way, perfect, no fingerprints, no this, no that. So, of course, to make 25 with a certain type of quality means that you have to make many. And if you arrive that day in class with 30 with the same good quality, there you're making the extra step. And there your teacher is going to be very happy about you. And there you start building a very good trustful relationship. Because that type of attitude, you will keep it with you. And when you will be working one day, you will keep it, you will use it. And that means that attitude will give you the opportunity to install a very good relationship based on the professional and human trust between your director and you as a designer, as a young designer or design manager one day. I read some of the comments. Thank you, Siddharth. Product design graduate and always have wanted to be a transportation. This is Mr. Svapnil Pai. Design. Right now, I'm preparing my portfolio to apply to design schools in Italy, France, and Sweden. I wanted a few. Okay. Svapnil, that's good. Going to make a master, I guess you're going to be doing a master. From a product design, it's excellent because you already have a lots of classes and culture, good culture about product design. Therefore, with your passion for sketching cars and your will to learn more, a master in automotive design for you, it's the right thing to do. So, the three good schools in Italy. SPD Milan, very good. IAAD in Torino and IED, both of them are good. The only difference between those three are IED has clay modeling. IAAD does not have clay modeling. You can do models, but not working your clay at school. They don't. And SPD, I think they have clay modeling now. They make nice models too. Okay? That's in Italy. But being a product design, you could go also to Pforzheim School or try to apply to their master program. You have another good program, it's Umeå University in Sweden, which is 1 year. You could go over there too. From you on how should my portfolio be structured? For portfolio, Svapnil, please check the video on portfolios. I made 3 videos about that. You will find them in the video list of this channel. I'm sorry. You can always make some comments and I will answer you. Sir, I'm a student brother. Okay, good. You have a brother that is a student with you? I'm a student brother. I understand. Yes, sir, I'm considering all this. Good. MIT Ravi Designs. MIT, I met them at the Indian Auto Show. There are a few pictures of me with them on their Facebook page. It was very nice to meet them, to visit them. I took pictures. And sometimes I talk about them in other videos, in which I was talking about design schools in India. MIT's, I think, if I understood well, they are developing as design courses, but it's what is really, really strong at the moment. I think it's more clay modeling, and also virtual modeling. Okay. Okay, so now let's go back to the story, all right? So we were saying about the trust, okay? Now it's very important that in those type of design schools to work like if it is the real life. The reason is very simple. If you are in one of those schools and you have been accepted in those schools, your teachers are real designers. It's not like academic programs of public schools. Those are private schools. And private schools often, especially the specialistic schools, they go in search in the industry, according to their specialization, people that are able to teach, to transfer know-how from their experience to the students. So in front of you, you have teachers that will give you notes. But in reality, you have maybe the one that is looking for designers tomorrow, and maybe for you. So you have the whole interest to be wise, responsible, disciplined, to work well, professional, and show a very open attitude to try always to improve, to do better, to never be happy with what you did, or to better say, be happy with what you accomplished, but 5 minutes later, try to see if you can improve it. Job about the clay model in development design. Does he get 28 visual especially in clay model? Have a good shape. No, Svapnil, clay modeler, the clay modeler, which is a very important professional figure into the design process and works next, really stick to the designer, okay, and design management, but mainly with the creative designer. The clay modeler is the one that takes your sketches, right, and puts them into a volume. Designers in a very, very, very early stage sometimes are asked to work with the clay themselves because it's a sculpture, it's your stuff, it's your baby. You know how to make it. There are some stuff that maybe you have difficulty to sketch or to make a technical section, but because it's your baby and you have in your mind that reflection or that transition between a surface and another, you have to make the experience. So that's the first early part. Then in the process, that thing will become a virtual model. The virtual model is milled in clay, and then the clay models will arrive to clean up and inject what I call the artistic feeling of the original design. Because when you go from a virtual model to milling, there is some artistic flair, how can I say, feeling that is missing because it's from machine to machine. That's the reason why the clay models by hand and with the help of the designer, the creative design responsible for that design, there together they give that artistic feeling, mood to the model, and the model becomes fantastic. I hope I was clear on that. No, to make a clay modeler career, you don't need to be car designers, not at all. What you need to do is to go to those schools that have clay modeling and virtual modeling courses and get a bachelor or diploma or a master for that. And in India, you have a couple that are already doing this. They're doing something like virtual design development, okay, which means everything that has to do with virtual modeling, virtual film, virtual images, virtual modeling, all those stuff. But then you can add also the clay modeling next to it to have a full type of experience. MIT, you should ask to MIT because MIT is a school that has both things. Also, Rubica, JSK. There is also Strat College. Strat College, I think, also they do have. MIT, yeah, they do. So it's nice to have both bachelor and master to become consumer bachelor. No, Sagar, master, it's not necessary. If you have a bachelor in car design, in transportation design, in product design, and your portfolio is a good portfolio, you do not need to take a master. It's useless. Okay, Svampil. Good. You're from MIT, so you can give some also some feedback with your comments. What about the scholarship at IED? But IED is not bad. It's not a bad school. I was talking about it before. And over there you can make clay models. Master, it's something for those people that want to become a little bit more expert into the car design field using their background as engineers or architects or I don't know another type of profession. And because they never had a bachelor in car design, they go and take a master to have a wider knowledge in their automotive, how can I say, automotive industry culture. To have a master in this particular case does not make you a designer, a car designer. It just gives you an opportunity to understand certain dynamics, okay, certain things of our design culture that you can use eventually as a manager and apply this if you are, for example, an engineer, manager that has to do with design departments or with projects and of course with in contact with designers. But honestly, sometimes people, especially people from India, they think that they go to Italy, they get their master, and they are designers. They have a portfolio. They have a small portfolio. It's not good enough because in 1 year you cannot do something that other people do in 4 years. Okay, four. So how can you compress 1 year in four? I mean, 4 years in one. It's impossible. Come on, let's just think about it. Okay, so that's the main motive, the main reason. What do you believe is the best university for automotive design in the UK and also the whole world? Thank you. Okay, Harry Franklin, very Franklin. Sorry for the word game. I try to be funny too. I think that in England you have two schools that are very good. Royal College, which is very known. Okay, I was I never went up there. I hope that one day I will go. But for what I see from the catalog I have with me, because I receive their catalogs, I see beautiful stuff. Now, few people say that Royal College is a little bit too automotive design European traditional. Okay, that's a philosophy. Then you have a Coventry University, the transportation and product design department. And I went there once. I have been invited, and the director of the department is a friend of mine. Okay, he's also from Art Center. He's an Italian friend of mine. So he's an ex-colleague. Now, what he is doing is quite good, and the school is investing money to become better. And I saw models, I saw beautiful projects, a lot of students, and a lots of enthusiasm, and also a design expression as a school, not too traditional. So it's a little bit more on, I don't want to say science fiction, but more modern, more contemporary, with a better vision toward the future. So that's the difference between the two, according to my perception. Okay. Now, when we talk about the best school in the world, of course, I'm going to explain. I'm going to tell you that is my school, Art Center College of Design in Pasadena. But in reality, we have also CCS in Detroit, which is extremely good also. Extremely good too. I hope that I answered to your question. The 2 years course, right? Yeah, I think so. But 2 years is a 2 year course is master. 1 year is a preparatory course, and the second year is the real master. Sure, did Mr. Filippo bring got extra benefit by doing mechanical engineering as a job in sports car design? But to be honest, I cannot tell you because I do not know Mr. Perini. Even if he's an Italian brilliant design manager, very important person in the Italian design, international design, professional panorama. I don't know him. I never seen a sketch of him, or I don't know. I cannot say. I'm sorry. I would say something that would not be true. One thing I can say that I like very much Lamborghini design. So I know that he was in Lamborghini. He was brought there with Walter de Silva, and he comes from that type of how can I say, a group of people that grew up together, worked together, and did very beautiful stuff in car design, in that period. Today, to be honest, I don't know. I cannot say. What about your portfolio? How was your experience? My portfolio. My portfolio was done with about 10 projects in school, because through the 3 years and all the projects done, my portfolio was divided into 10 projects. Sketching, I had sketchbooks, which was ideation, pure ideation, two sketchbooks. Then the projects with sketches, illustrations by hand, final rendering, and photos of models. And this was the, how can I say, the communication philosophy that I used for each project. And then there was a project that for which I won with my, was a team project. We won with our model the Art Center Gallery for full semester. So our model was there. So there were a lot of beautiful pictures about that. And Nissan gave us at that time, which is this one. You see this one? This is a prize that Nissan gave us for this project in school, Art Center. Yeah. And then I had some at that time color slides, the small ones that today, of course, nobody does anymore, uses anymore. At that time, I had another folder with lots of slides with extra pictures of models and other sketches, renderings. You could put against the light to see the effect. Sir, are the online courses? Okay, so let's talk about Siddharth. You know that about ebooks. There are my ebooks. I don't know if you got my ebook or not, but anyway, you can find my ebook. Okay, let me give you just. I'm working for you as usual. So just give me. Okay, wait a second that I will show you my author page for my ebooks. Okay, I'll give you the link, and you can buy if you wish. There are several prices. The lowest is $4. Okay, I'm cheap. So thank me, I'm cheap, because other people, you spend a lot of money. Okay, there you have the link. Okay, you can click on that link and you can get my page to find my ebooks. Now you can buy, as you can see, there are several ebooks. There are 3 or 4. There is only one which is expensive. It's my pictures, my photos, me taking photos. I did a photo book. That's another thing. Okay, but the other ones are for sketching. And do not, if you buy sketching design education, wait, I'll tell you one thing very important, so that you don't get the same book again. Car design sketching tips. You have a number 0, the one down, $14.99, and then you have another one which is less expensive, $12.99, which is the number 2. with a side view of a sports car. Car design sketching tips 2. Buy this one, the less expensive, because this is the latest I made, and there are more pages. Okay, it costs less simply because I decided not to print. It's just a PDF you can download once you pay, and in that way it's cheaper. Okay, then if you want, you can make a print of it and make the cover as you like. But this is really stuff that you need to learn how to sketch to help you with perspective, reflections, interior sketching, exterior sketching, focal point, all the things we talk about usually together. Okay? Then you have another one which is called Car Designer Some Tips for You. Okay? And wait a moment. Wait a moment. Let me see if I can do this for you. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You see, this one, Car Designer Some Tips for You, that's my experience as a designer. How I did to become a car designer, my experience with some extra information compared to what I talked to you today, extra stuff. For example, my visit at Pininfarina is a little bit like a romantic storytelling. So this is the car design sketching tips number 2, and then I can do this. So this is the first one I made that you can print, but there are less stuff compared to this one. Then you have how to sketch wheels, perspective, and this one is really cheap because it's only $4.88. I made a discount there. And drawing reflections with one of my illustrations from Art Center, which was part of my portfolio. And this is a gouache painting, okay? And in this one, you have all the illustration, okay? You have all the illustration. There we are again. We have all the illustrations rules how to do. So if you want, you can go over there with the link, okay? And of course, you have to make an account because you have to pay via PayPal or with a bank account, with credit card or whatever, I don't know, bank card. But anyway, it's the way today things are done. So that's how it is. And I'm thinking, of course, to make a new one, and probably will come maybe this winter. I don't know because I'm quite busy, but with all the sketches we did together, I was thinking to make of all the stuff we did, okay? With links, a PDF with the links to the YouTube channel, so that on the PDF that you download, you will have sort of links, explanations and stuff, and useful links. Okay, so now that we arrived, now it's 7:40, so I will keep you still 5-10 minutes, okay? And what I want to tell you now, it's let's see. Ciao, Chodari, Sarah, are the online courses were good for the? Okay, let's talk a little about the online courses. This is the idea that I have about online courses. To me, they can be good to learn a few things if you are not a major by yourself to learn them, because they will give you a lots of informations that are good information. Okay, it is a little bit like me with my videos. I sketch with the camera on top. You see how I sketch, and you try to copy. Okay, and you learn. I know that some online courses, they have teaching via Skype or with a video system, okay? So it's very interactive, and this is very good. Now, I have no idea whether all this that remains online has a real value to form and train people to become car designers with a diploma or a bachelor. Yeah, I think that for that we need to wait few years because this is very recent. So at the moment, to be honest and to be kind of safe, I would say that with the online courses we can train ourselves, we can prepare ourselves, whether to go to a school, whether to access to a master. But to go straight to work, I don't know. I think that human contact, it's very important. It's very important. The reaction of the moment, the reaction of your colleagues at school, the life at school, feel the projects. When we are alone, too much alone, I don't know. I use soap at my home. What material can be used from model making? Model making, materials for model making. You should find foam. Okay, you have a different type of foam density. Now, when you have to work kind of fast, you want to use low density because it's easy to sandpaper or to cut with tools and model. The low density foam is the yellow one. It's called also yellow foam. The hard one is pink foam. Okay, the pink one it's very hard. You have also blue foam, which is very very light, very very light. But you can model with clay if you buy clay, and you learn the process how to use clay. You can see a video that I made on my channel, which is called clay clay modeling. Okay, you can find other videos on YouTube where people work clay, and you can learn by watching them how they do, how they use the tools, what type of tools. I know how to work clay because in school I did 2 years of clay modeling. So I did 6 models in clay in small scale, but I worked by me. And other than clay, you can make also with wood. Why not? If you use a light wood, it's better than a hard wood, of course. I hope I answered your question. So, coming internship Harry Franklin, I'm sorry, but the Design Academy India, it's finished, it's closed. So there will not be another one. I'm sorry. So the only way to see if you can have a chance to be an intern in India is to contact directly the Renault India Design Studio, the head, who is Alain Launay, okay, and send your letter, your CV, your PDF me book, and see if you're good enough to stimulate him to call you and offer you a job. Okay, so now all this about the school, it's the objective, the final objective is to get an internship and a job. And to get an internship and to get a job, you do it only with a very good portfolio, extremely good professional portfolio. Car design is very demanding, more than product design, much more. You want to go and apply for an internship, you will have an internship portfolio, which means internship level, because you are not yet a full student. I mean, you didn't finish school. So for that knowledge you already accumulated, okay, that you have already, but you have to make it damn good because your portfolio, even if it's only for an internship, must be the best you can. because wants to be the best of the class, even if you're not the best of the class. But that's where you aim to be. And when you think about at the end of the school, so 4 years later, your bachelor is almost ready to be given to you in your hands, and you're ready to go out of school, then you must have a knockout portfolio, because with that one, you will get a job. If your portfolio has a few small, tiny problems, you put your future at risk. So be very demanding with your portfolio. Don't fuck up, as they used to tell me. Portfolio should be perfection, all right? And even if perfection does not exist, but we assume that must be perfection, okay? And when I see perfection, it's not just the portfolio itself and its content. And I made 3 videos here, 3, about portfolio, how to prepare a portfolio, and portfolio content. So you can always go and watch the video, right? With all the advices and the exchange we had with those videos. But what is very important, this is new, it's your oral content. Your blah, 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 the way you move, the way you speak, the way you present yourself, the way you sell yourself, how convincing you will be, and what type of professional trust you can push, and you can push into the discussion, and how you can conquest the people in front of you. So those things all together will give you the feeling of being, I would say, relatively tranquil, that you are doing a good job to get a job. Good job to get a job. All right? Let's see if there is another important question. And wish to work with Italians in the future. Yeah, Aditya, that would be nice. Why not? Thank you, Cedar. So next time I will talk to you about the oral presentation of a project, how you should present your project, the mistakes not to make, because I see too many. Every time I go into a school, into a design school, people start presenting a project to me because I'm the invited, okay? And then I say, look what he's doing, look what he's saying. But nobody told him. So let's try to erase all those mistakes together. Next time we will talk about how to present your, and therefore also how to present your portfolio when you have in front of you a professional that, of course, is going to be kind of serious. It doesn't know you, and the thing most important is that you don't have any idea how is a professional in front of you, because you are a student. But professionals do know how you're gonna be in front of them, because you are a student and they were students. So I will try to give you some information to get that gap, to reduce that gap, and give you some useful tips. Share this video, okay? You have to share this video. It's useful to everybody. Share, if you are at school, share this video with your classmates. We have to grow. And if you want, buy me a beer or buy my ebooks, okay? Ciao, thank you very much. I thank you. I will answer to your questions if there will be another comments, okay, later on during the week. And I will prepare my next topic. As I said, we will talk about how to present yourself, your project, your portfolio. Okie doke.